What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Team FISHKNUCKLES YouTube channel. Now, if you notice, it's a little bit different. I know we're in a box. I did move, and I don't have time to set my green screen up. I'm just trying to get these videos out ASAP, or trying to record them as fast as I can, because this week I'm going to be so busy with work, and then this weekend I'm going to Philadelphia, and I won't have next weekend to record the next week video, so I have to record 2 weeks of videos in one day, so I do apologize if the quality is a little bit different, but we're still going to try our best to record as many games as we can, have some really good fun, and especially now because Burning Shadows is legal. And I know a lot of people have asking for pre-rotation or post-rotation stuff, but I'm going to hold off on that. And the reason why that is because we still have big tournaments coming up that have this format. We have Worlds, which is in 2 weeks. We got the ARG Invitational, which is this weekend. And we have League Cups. League Cups you need to go to if you want to become, want to get your Worlds invite. And this format's it's going to be legal for a good minute, so you need to make sure you know this very well and you know a lot about the set. Now, once the rotation does happen, don't worry, I'll have a ton of post-rotation stuff, but right now we're going to focus on pre-rotation because it really does matter with these League Cups that are out right now. And today we're going to focus on Golisopod-Zoroark. Now, if you watched my Burning Shadows testing, we did do a Golisopod-GX variant, and there's a ton of different ways you can play Golisopod. You can play Golisopod with Zoroark. I mean, not Zoroark. Well, obviously with Zoroark. Evolutions. You can play without it. You can play with Decidueye. So that's the 4 main ways you can play Golisopod. And today I thought, why not? Let's show off the Zoroark version that I have made. So if you don't know Golisopod, he's 210 HP. And welcome to Burning Shadows, guys. Oh, I'm so excited. I'm sorry that I didn't have anything this weekend either. I was moving. A lot of stuff has been going on in my life. And, so yeah, that's why. But I promise we'll have the green screen here in about 2 weeks. So I just apologize for my background and my big old square and stuff like that. And I know right now it's on this side, but once the video starts, it's gonna be on this side. It's gonna shoot back and forth. I just want to make sure that y'all can see everything in this deck list. All right, so let's go over this deck now. So Golisopod, 210 HP, first impression 30. If this Pokemon was on your bench, it became active during your turn. It does 90 more damage, so 120. It has an armor press, 100. During your opponent's next turn, it takes 20 less damage. And Cross and Cut GX, that's 150, and it switches one of your bench Pokemon, which is really nice because you can put a choice band, do that Cross and Cut for 180, and send a new Pokemon to keep your Golisopod from being hurt by damage, which is really nice. Now remember that first impression, if it became active, you can switch it out or do 120, and that's what we're going to try to achieve today with the Zoroark. Zoroark has that stand-in, and so you're able to switch Zoroark with the active and then retreat back into Golisopod and swing for 120, which is really nice. You also have that Mind Jack, which is 10 plus 30, so it's not it's a good backup attacker. It's good like a non-GX EX attacker that can do a ton of damage and can punish your opponent if they fill their bench up, which a lot of people do because you got Tapu Lele, you got Shaymin, and those easily fill up bench spots, so Zoroark can punish your opponent for doing that, which is really nice. And Wimpod's actually really good as well. During your first turn, this Pokemon has no retreat cost. So during your very first turn, if you have double Wimpod, you can evolve the bench one, switch out, and hit an attack with a Golisopod, which is really nice. Of course, we got the 2 Tapu Lele and the 1 Shaymin. I'm playing a 3-3 Zoroark because I think he's a good attacker. You kind of need him drawn to an ASAP, so I'm playing a heavier count. And I'm playing a 4-3 Golisopod just for space reasons. I kind of want a 4th Golisopod, but we need all these cards in the deck right now. So, in 2 Tapu Lele, of course, setup. Okay, so this is going to be all the Pokemon we are playing. 2 Field Blower, of course, to get rid of tools. Most like on Garbodor, Choice Band, stuff like that. 1 Rescue Stretcher, and Gold Rescue Stretcher. Hello, Burning Shadows. But put a Pokemon from discard pile into your hand, or shuffle 3 from discard pile back into your deck. Once again, kind of want a second one, maybe Revitalizer. I don't really like Revitalizer too much in the deck because you do play the Zoroark, Shaymin, and the Tapu Lele. Revitalizer does not guarantee those, so that's why I'm not playing the Revitalizer. 4 Ultra Ball, 4 VS Seeker, just really guts, you need these drawn to it. VS Seeker, oh boy. Rest in peace here in a couple weeks. Decks are going to be so different, guys. You have no idea if you haven't played a format without VS Seeker. But 1 Acerola, really good. If one of your Pokemon is hurt, put it back in your hand, and all cards attached to it. So this is really good with the Golisopod, because if somebody's hurt, you can Golisopod it. You can Acerola the Golisopod back into your hand, put it back down, and attack again. So it's a really cool combination. 2 Guzma. It's going to replace Life in this deck. especially since we have the Zoroark that can just like Float Stone retreat pretty easily. You can also just stand in and then Guzma. It's really cool. You don't even need the Float Stone sometimes. Guzma, if you don't know, switch one of your opponent's bench with their active. If you do, switch your active with your bench. So it's like a double Lysander kind of effect, which is really cool. 3 in and 1 Kukui. Kukui can help you hit that additional 20 damage if needed. Maybe. I don't know how good Kukui is. It's definitely one of the like iffy cards that I might cut. So that's something you think about. 4 Sycamore, best card in the game right now. 3 Choice Band, a golden Choice Band. So you do 30 more damage, of course, really nice. It can help you hit Zoroark, do 180. Because with a full bench, it does 160, because 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 16, and so with the Choice Band, 190. With Kukui, 210. So it could knock out an active Golisopod if needed, so that's really cool if you get the Kukui plus the Choice Band. 3 Float Stone for the Zoroark, so they have that free treat. 4 DCE and 8 Grass Energy. Now, I might be playing a high kind of Grass Energy, but my thought process was I don't want to whiff a Grass Energy, because while testing, this is why Golisopod, I did whiff Grass Energy, so I don't want to do that again. I want to be able to attack every single turn, so that's why we're playing the 8 Grass Energies. And there we go, guys. There's my version of the Golisopod Zoroark. And don't worry, all this week and next week will be Burning Shadow stuff, and I'm so excited. And I'm excited that Burning Shadow soon. I'm glad I'm recording on PTCGO again. And once again, I do apologize for the background. I will be gone here in about 2 weeks. Unfortunately, it's 2 weeks of me rubbing this background, seeing this right here in the way, but we will get the green screen back up here eventually, and it'll look good again, guys. But hopefully you enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think of the deck, and we'll see what happens. But guys, hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button. We're almost we're so close to 9,000, guys. So close. I'm so excited. So excited. Alrighty, let's see the deck in action. Alright, guys, so putting a Seth C, and we'll see what happens here, what we get, and how does Golisopod Zoroark actually work or not. Now, they're playing some kind of grass deck. Could this be a mirror Golisopod? I don't know. So we lost coin flip, so we'll be going second, but we could get that turn 1 attack off if we find everything we need to get out of the active spot. So we found a Zora, we got a DCE, and immediately I'm like, man, kind of wish I had a special charge in this deck, so that way when we discard the DC, we can get it back. Having a Field Blower is not too bad, but we can Ultra Ball, discard like the Sycamore and Ultra Ball to find a Wimpod, and just in the hand is not too bad either. And there we see a Wimpod Rowlet. So we're playing against a Decidueye variant, which I'm not sure which one is better. With the Decidueyes, he can like feather arrows and all that kind of stuff, and he does put the Forest of Giant Plants down for us, and he's gonna get his own Golisopod out this turn. We see an Ultra, or maybe a Shaymin this turn. He could go for Shaymin or Tapu Lele just because he doesn't have a supporter card. But he puts down the Forest of Giant Plants, discards his Guzma, and we're gonna have a weird mirror match here. Oh boy! All right, so with the feather arrows, he can constantly put damage on us and kind of go that route. But then we have Zoroark that can smack for a ton of damage. It's a non-EX attacker, so that's good. But then he might be playing Super Scoop Ups. I don't know what's in his list. And we see a Lele for a Sycamore. Just going to discard his hand and draw 7 cards. Discarding a DC as well. Okay. And there is the Golisopod-GX coming online. And he can use that Armor Press next turn to do 100 if he wants to go that way. So we'll Ultra Ball. And I'm just going to discard double Sycamores just to find a Wimpod. Okay. So grab Wimpod. Put him down. And we're just going to end. We're looking for a Golisopod, a Grass Energy, and a Float Stone to swing this turn. There's a Grass Energy, and a Float Stone, and an Ultra Ball. Oh my goodness, we have the turn 1 we need. Alright, so we'll Float Stone the active, we'll Ultra Ball, discarding a DC, and a and we are discarding a DC, but we are getting the attack off, so that's good. So grab the Golisopod, put that guy down, put a Grass Energy on it, free treat to that Golisopod, and we'll get the turn 1 attack off with that Fresh Oppression, doing 120 damage. So there we go. That was the perfect hand we wanted to see. So on to our opponent's turn. Does he play Super Scoop Ups? Maybe an Acerola right now would be really good. Pick up that Golisopod, put it back into his hand, slap it back down. There's a lot of different things that can make this mirror match so weird. And there's a Dartrix coming down. Now, Decidueye, he's kind of a factor here. He can do 20 and the Armor Press for 100, and then he takes a 20 less next turn, but we can still knock him out next turn. So if he doesn't heal this Golisopod, we're going to be okay. We're going to be able to take a knockout. We get the Zora. Well, if we find a Zoroark, that's the big thing. Can we find a Zoroark or not? But Ultra Ball, discarding a Float Stone and I think a Sycamore? No, he played Sycamore last turn. I don't know, but there's a Shaymin coming to his hand, and a Shaymin coming down is great for us. Right now, Zoroark's doing 3, 6, 9, 100 damage, 120 now, so that's an easy knockout that we could take later on. So we see a Dartrix come down, we see a Shaymin going to set up for 5 new cards, and a Shaymin on the bench is a great prize card for us, so that's good to see. So going to set up, going to find 6 new cards in his hand, I guess 5 because he already had 1, and we'll see what our opponent decides to do here. Alright, does he find a way to heal this Golisopod? If not, we will take a knockout. And if he attaches a Grass Energy, he will not be able to attack again next turn. He can put a Grass Energy, go for a Crossing Cut maybe, to switch this with one of the bench Pokemon. That's a fine play. We see a DC going to the bench Wimpod actually. Yes, this is fantastic. He's not getting attack off. And, yeah. Now, the reason why he might be whiffing is because he probably doesn't have the Grass Energies like we have. So we get a Field Blower, really not going to play that. I mean, I guess we can get rid of the Forest of Giant Plants and not put ours back down. If we want to do that way, yeah. So we'll just get rid of the Forest of Giant Plants. We'll Sycamore. We're just looking for a Float Stone. I mean, okay, we missed the Zoroark, but we can just put a DC on the active. And we can just go for the Armor Press for 100. Take a knockout, going down to 4 prize cards. Alright, so we take a 20 less. We'll go down to 4. We get a Shaymin and a DC. Alright. So, let's see. We have no Guzmas in the discard pile, so we can't really bring up anybody. It'd be really cool to cross and cut a Shaymin. Here comes a Dartrix in the active spot. And he might be doing this because he doesn't really have... he might be trying to dig for DCs, so there's a Grass Energy Wimpod. We see a Revitalizer. Gonna get the Golisopod back into his hand. Wimpod and Golisopod coming back down. Alright, so we see a Wimpod coming down. We'll see the Golisopod coming down as well. Now, we'll be taking 20 less, whatever he decides to do. And we're gonna see a VS Sycamore. For Sycamore, no ends in the discard pile. And there's Sycamore coming down. Unless he does, he finally find these Decidueyes. Luckily, if he finds 2 Decidueyes, he can't take a knock on the Zora. We see the Golisopod coming up. And yeah, we're up in prize cards. His deck's probably more clunkier than ours. Probably only plays like 4 or 5 Grass Energies while we're playing the 8. We're not going to whiff our energies. I mean, we haven't seen a Grass Energy in a good minute. And they've seen Armor Press for 80 damage. Not even coming close to a knockout just yet. So they're the Forest of Giant Plants coming down. Now, we could do something crazy and put a DC on Zoroark, Choice Band the active, and just Sycamore our hand away, because we really don't need this stuff in our hand too much, and that's what I'm going to do here. I'm just going to, I just want to dig and find another Wimpod. We do have that Rescue Stretcher, so that's fine. So I'm going to put a Choice Band on the active, okay? Put a DC on this guy, a Field Blower to get rid of the Float Stone off the bench, okay? And then I'm just going to VS Sycamore for Sycamore, just discard our hand, draw 7 new cards. Really don't want to give him a new hand. He really didn't do too much with it, and I don't want to give him a new hand with Decidueyes in it. So we're just going to Sycamore, discard all that stuff away, and this is a good hand here. So we can put down the Wimpod, we can put down the Zora, we can put down the Zoroark, and what we can do here is go for that Cross and Cut GX, do a 180, and set up a Zora saying, hey, you know, you have to swing into Zora. You're not going to be able to take a knockout. You'll need a Guzma or something. So we're going to Cross and Cut for 180, and we're going to send it to Zora, just to get our Golisopod out of the active spot. It does 160 because of Armor Press, but still, next turn we can knock it out pretty easily. So on my opponent's turn, I'm going to draw a card, and we're looking fine here. I think we're doing great. The only thing I'm missing is a Guzma. Like, we haven't seen a single Guzma. I don't know if they're prized or what, but my opponent hasn't found a Decidueye either, so that's good. He has played 3 Ultra Balls, so maybe that's why he hasn't been able to dig for him. He might be only playing like 2 Decidueyes, maybe? I don't know. I mean, obviously I don't know his count because it's a random guy. But next turn we got a Grass Energy Wimpod. We see a Grass Energy going to this bench Wimpod, okay. And does he have like an Acerola here? An Acerola would be pretty good. He can pick up the active and heal it and send it the new one. Basically wasted our GX attack for the turn. But if he does not have one, then we're going to be looking great here. So yeah. And next turn we can go for just an Armor Press for 130 maybe, and we're just going to see his GX attack here, just going to take a knockout and send it to somebody to not get hurt, and there we see 150 coming down, alright, and who does he decide to send? He's going to send the Dartrix, okay, going out of 5, can we top deck a Guzma, or a Tapu Lele, or an Ultra Ball, and there's a Float Stone. That's not what we needed there, guys. Oh man, so many outs, and unfortunately we did not find what we needed. Okay, so I'm going to put a Grass Energy to the bench Wimpod. I'm going to Float Stone it. And I'm just going to VS Seeker for a Sycamore. Yeah, we could go for Kukui, but Kukui's really not useful. I'm just going to grab a Sycamore, just play it, getting new cards. And I'm looking for a Golisopod to put on this guy to tackle this one instead. And we get a Stretcher, which can get us a Golisopod pretty easily, right? So yeah, I'm going to go for another put a Pokemon discard in our hand. We'll go for that Golisopod. We will have to not put down Shaymin and stuff like that, but that's fine. We'll put on the Golisopod. We will retreat into the Golisopod. And we will take a knockout with that fresh impression of 120 to that Dartrix. And we'll go down to 3 prize cards. Alright, so what do we find here? And there's another Golisopod. Really, I mean, we do have another Wimpod left, so that's fine. I guess we can use that later on. But we really need to find a Guzma. That's what we need to find here. So Golisopod coming to the active spot, okay. And, I mean, if we tapped like a Guzma and he heals his Golisopod, we can take a knockout of the Shaymin pretty easily. It's kind of a sit target. And there's the Acerola. Going to pick that Golisopod back into his hand, healing all that damage. Going to send up the new Wimpod. Oh, he actually can't send the Wimpod up because it won't activate. Like, this Armor Press would not work now. It's only going to do 30, so he has to go for an Armor Press. Yeah, so we see a DC go to the active. We see another Wimpod coming down. And we're going to see him swing here. It has 1 VS Seeker, the discard pile. Surge the Armor Press for 100 damage. Alright, so let's see. What do we find onto our turn? We find an Ultra Ball, okay. We have 1 DC in the discard pile. I'm going to Ultra Ball, discard a Choice Band and a Grass Energy to find another Zorua if it's in here. Yeah, so there's Zorua in here. We'll grab that. We could go for Tapu Lele and Guzma up the Shaymin for a knockout. That doesn't seem too bad, because then we have VS Seeker next turn for another Guzma, take a knockout on one of his bench Dartrixes. So I think that's fine. So I'm going to grab a Lele here. Okay. I'm going to grab the Lele, put that down. Synergex Support card, yes please. I would like to do that. We're going to grab the Guzma. We're going to bring up that Shaymin, take it a knockout, and put our opponent in, we can win next turn. So we're going to Guzma. We're going to send up the Shaymin. Okay. We're going to send our Zoroark. I'm going to put a Grass Energy on the Tapu Lele, just in case we need to retreat if he tries to license her up. We'll put a Choice Band on this guy. We will retreat into the Golisopod. And we will just First Impression for the knockout, doing 120, going down to 1 prize card. And next turn, we can knock out a Dartrix or that Wimpod sitting on his bench. So there's a Tapu Lele and a Float Stone coming to our hand. Now, he can take a knockout this turn, not with the Armor Press. Armor Press only does 100. He already uses GX, so he can't cross and cut either. He has to find a Decidueye and go for that first cross and cut. So you can see Grass Energy goes to the Wimpod. But does he evolve the Wimpod? Or if he doesn't follow both these guys, we're going to win next turn. We're going to be able to knock out the Wimpod or the Dartrix in his hand by using VS Seeker for Guzma, bringing one of these guys. And there's an Armor Press, not even taking a knockout. I don't know what's my opponent's hand, but we are going to win this game. So we're going to VS Seeker for Guzma. And we're going to Guzma up that Wimpod. So come here, Wimpod. You're coming up at the axe spot. We're going to send our Zoroark and actually let Zoroark take a knockout. 3, 6, 9. There we go. Do a Mind Jack for 100 damage, and we will take a victory against the Decidueye Golisopod deck. Now, I'm not sure if his hand... Like, he didn't play cards for a long time. This could be because he might have been holding to VS Seekers and was waiting to abuse the Acerola kind of combo and like Acerola and stuff like that. But we're going for the win. We are not going for Acerola plays here. We're going to win the game, and that's what we did here. We can't see our opponent's deck, unfortunately, but he didn't find any Dartrixes or Decidueyes, sorry. His deck's probably a little bit more clunkier than ours because he's playing those stage 2 Pokemon in there. He probably just plays many Grass Energies while he whiffed a couple. So there we go. There's game number 1 with Golisopod Zoroark, and we'll see another game with the deck here in a second. We'll see what happens. Alright, guys. On to game number 2, we're playing against Hafini, playing some kind of fighting deck, and fighting could be good for us because if he's playing a fighting deck that's weak to grass, then we hit for weakness, and we can hit for a 240 and take knockouts that way, so it'll be pretty cool. So we won the coin flip, so that's... it's always weird winning the coin flip with this deck, because I always want to go second and try to take a knockout, but no matter what, you always want to go first. It doesn't matter what deck you're playing. I'm 100%, I would stand by the argument forever. You need to go... You just need to go first, no matter what, just to get set up, find my Pokemon, and be good to go. So, We got a Wimpod, we got a Zorua. We're looking good already right now. We got pretty much all we need. We're going to put a DC in the Wimpod as well. And there we see a Ringaroo. Okay, so I'm going to put a DC on the Wimpod. I'm going to put down the Forest... yeah, put down the Forest Giant Plants and just play it in here. Not really looking for too much, just more Wimpods to put down. There's a Glow Speed for next turn and a Float Stone. Okay, so we're looking good. We're just going to pass right now. We just gotta hope he can't take a knock. Oh, we can put down the Glow Speed, duh. Let's put down the Glow Speed, and we'll press done. So even if he takes a knockout, we get Armor Press for 100, find a Choice Band, 180. You saw me have a Choice Band in my hand, but I wanted to hold on to it, and oh my goodness, it's another mirror match. And you can see Golisopod already is one of the most, like, gonna be one of the most played decks coming into this to the format right now. So he's got a Rainbow Rare Golisopod, Grass Energy coming down. There's a Shaymin setting up for 3. Once again, Shaymin is another another Guzma target we can bring up. It's easily knocked out by First Impression doing 120. But I thought he was playing Fighting, so I'm really curious. Did y'all see Fighting in his deck? There's a Guzma, gonna bring up a Golisopod, unfortunately. Okay, he's gonna smack it for 120 this turn. Oh boy, this is not good. So Heavy Ball, oh, Heavy Ball is pretty neat. I can find him a Wimpod because Wimpod does have that 3 retreat cost. So we'll see a first turn swing into our Golisopod, but we can go for that crossing cut play like we did last turn and send up a Zorua or maybe Wimpod or something else and let that get smacked. So we get a Stretcher, which is not something I want to draw into right now. Alright, so put down the Zoroark, we'll put a Float Stone on it, we'll put a Grass Energy on the Golisopod, and we're just going to Sycamore, just discard our hand, draw on 7 new cards, looking for a Wimpod or something to send in, and there we go. So we find a Wimpod, we find a Zorua, and what I'm going to do right now is just go for that Crossing Cut GX and send in the Zorua. I really don't put anybody in harm's way, just saying, hey, if you take a knockout, you get to knock out a Zorua, so it's a really good play with the Crossing Cut. You can just like kind of put in whoever you want to. So that's really cool. And he needs another VS Seeker for Guzma to bring over Golisopod, take a knockout on it. Or if he doesn't, then he's going to knock out our Zorua. He could go for his own Crossing Cut GX play, but then we have a Guzma in our hand, which can bring it back into the active spot. So that's really cool. So you can see like already how this kind of works. And I'm sorry that we played 2 mirror matches in a row, but that's just what happens sometimes. Now his list looks like it's going to be like a more standard Golisopod, but we're still doing good here. Some people might be thinking I'm crazy with playing so many Grass Energies and stuff like that, but like I said, I want to keep the list really consistent. So we see Ultra Ball. He's going to be able to discard 2 cards from his hand, and maybe use the Ringaroo here to draw. He has 3 in his hand. So this card's a Rainbow and a Sycamore. Ooh, a Rainbow Energy. What spicy deck is he playing here? I really want to see. So Tapu Lele, maybe guaranteeing a Guzma here, just trying to take a knock on the Golisopod. Not a bad idea at all, but we do have a Zoroark to be able to swing it to his Golisopod, so that is a scary thing. And there we see an Acerola here. Alright, so he's going to Acerola, pick up the Golisopod, and unfortunately negate all that stuff we just did. So Acerola going to send in the Wimpod here. That's unfortunate. Alright, going to send in the Lele actually, okay. The Lele coming up is fine with me. He's going to Energy Drive for 40. We see a Golisopod coming down. He's going to Ringaroo for 1. Instruct for 1. But I'm going to Guzma up that Golisopod to swing it to it. We need to make him waste. We need to put as much damage we can on this Golisopod. And we get to keep our Zorua, so that's great as well. So this hand just got really interesting. We found an Ultra Ball. So yeah, I have to do this. I have to Ultra Ball discarding an N and a DCE. And with this, I'm going to grab another Golisopod. Okay, how many more DCs we have left? So we have 2 left, so we're fine here. So grab a Golisopod. We're going to put that guy down, put a Grass Energy on it, and go for Guzma, bringing up his Golisopod, bringing up our Golisopod, and we're going to swing for 120, getting that First Impression off. Alright, so there we go, doing 120 damage onto our opponent's turn. He only has 3 cards in hand. I mean, if he has another VS Seeker for an Acerola, it'd be pretty annoying. He does have a Grass Energy in hand. We know he has that for sure. But we have 1 card in hand. It is most likely going to be a VS Seeker for Sycamore. Like, we could like go for another Guzma play or whatever. And there's a Float Stone going to the Tapu Lele. Does he have another VS Seeker for Acerola? And there's another VS Seeker. Will he go for an Acerola here? And yeah, he's going to go for another Acerola. Oh my goodness. Okay, so we're going to see an Acerola. Pick up the Guzma back, Golisopod back to his hand. Going to send the Lele. Now, since he does have the Float Stone, he could Put down the Golisopod, put a Grass Energy. He has Wimpod. He's going to have one card in his hand. So Wimpod coming down. Maybe see Grass Energy, and he's going to be able to Ringaroo for 2. Alright, so Acerola here becoming a very annoying card for us. Oh man, where's our Acerola when we need it? Hopefully we Tapu Lele here and be able to do that. But here we see Golisopod coming to the X spot. Now he's used 1 VS Seeker. There's first pressure for 120. Okay. So on our turn. Okay, Choice Band. That's not what we want to see. Alright, so we will... I really want to Choice Band the Zora. Just because we can 2-shot the Golisopod no matter what. Yeah, so I'm going to Choice Band the Zora without anything on it, and just VS Seeker for his Sycamore. Just discard our hand. Unfortunately, not finding an Acerola will not be able to heal our Golisopod, and we're going to find some new cards. Well, we found a Zoroark, so that's good. We'll put that guy down. We'll put down a Wimpod. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put a DC on the Zoroark. I'm going to stand in with this one. And I'm going to swing right now. I'm just trying to give up, like, make sure he doesn't take any knockouts on our Golisopod. So we're going to swing right now, do it 160, okay? He can take a, well, he can't take a knockout immediately because he can't retreat. He has to find a DC and go for Armor Press. Okay. Maybe if he finds another Acerola and then 24. Okay, there's a Sycamore. So no Acerola this turn. Woo! Alright, so he cannot heal this Golisopod. Alright, so that's good. That's very good. Now, if he finds a DCE, he could go for that Crossing Cut GX, but we got a VS Seeker for Guzma, so we can bring this Golisopod back into the X spot and take a knockout that way, which is really nice to see. We see another Wimpod hitting the field, okay. We see a Heavy Ball for a Golisopod, most likely. And yep, there's a Golisopod-GX coming down. But did he find a DCE this turn? If he did not find a DCE, he will not be able to take a knockout. He'll only be able to use that first pressure for 30. And no, go touch a Grass Energy to the bench. Does he find a Float Stone or Switch here? Or Escape Rope. Escape Rope would have sent the Wimpod. That'd be really bad for him, actually. And there's an Ultra Ball. Going to discard 2 cards from his hand. Discards a VS Seeker and a Guzma. So that's 2 VS Seekers gone and another Guzma. Alright, so he has 2 Guzmas down. I don't know what he just grabbed. I imagine another Glow Speed. And he is going to Ringaroo for 2, trying to find a Float Stone. I imagine that's what we're going to see him dig for. And if he finds a Float Stone, he'll be able to treat out of the active spot. And there's the Float Stone. Oh my goodness. Oh man, never lucky. Alright, so Golisopod will come up. We'll see him first pressure for 120, taking a knockout. And now we're some interesting stuff here. Okay, so I'm gonna send the Zoroark. As you know, we can do whatever we want to. All right, so let's see here. Oh boy, so we found a Sycamore. Okay, I think the plan now is just Guzma, bring up the Golisopod, and we just like trade back and forth. I think that's the plan here right now. Just take a knockout on the Golisopod. He takes a knockout on us because he can Float Stone the Tapu Lele, send it back in. And then, I don't know how we go from here. That's the big mystery. We are down 2 Zoroarks and a Rescue Stretcher, so that's looking pretty bad. So we're going to VS Seeker. We're going to grab the Guzma here. Then, yeah, we're going to Guzma. We're going to bring up his Golisopod. We'll bring up our... Let's see, 120... Minus 20 is 100, so he'll unfortunately still be able to take a knockout. So I'm going to send the one without that stuff on it. And we're going to go for a first impression for the knockout. Okay, so we got down to 4 price cards. So give me 2 good cards here, Pokemon. We get a Sycamore and a Ultra Ball, okay. Ultra Ball could be good, because we can find another Golisopod if it's not prized, and actually swing with one that's not hurt, so that'd be really nice to see. He'll be able to take a knockout here, but then we get Ultra Ball, discarded Forest, and Wimpod, Golisopod in, putting him down to 3, and there's an N. So we get 4, he gets 3. Guess he might be digging for a VS Seeker for next turn, maybe. We found a VS Seeker, okay. So we could bring up a Shaymin. We also found a Field Blower to get rid of his Float Stones. We can end him down to low hand size. Maybe disrupt him that way a little bit. Alright, did he find an energy this turn? Alright, so gonna send the Golisopod. I don't think he has an energy straight away. He's gonna get a knockout here going down to 3. Where they're gonna end him down to 3. We see a DC going to, Rainbow Energy going to make Golisopod. Rainbow Energy is so interesting. Why do you Rainbow? Is it for Topic Cure maybe? I don't know. So 120 damage coming down. He's gonna go down to 3 cards. Remember, he is down 2 VS Seeker, so maybe that'll disrupt him just a little bit. He is down 2 Guzmas, And I don't know how many Float Stones are in his deck, but he has 2 overall in play. So we got a Wimpod. We're going to put that down. We are going to Field Blower to get rid of this Float Stone and the Forest Giant Plants. Okay. We're going to Float Stone a Wimpod, and we are going to VS Seeker for an N. Okay. I'm going to save the Shaymin. Don't want to put down the Shaymin. It is a life standard. It's our Guzma target right now. So we're going to N. Finding an Ultra Ball and a Lele. Okay. So we are going to retreat into the Golisopod and going for that Fresh Press. It does more damage, so that's why I'm doing Fresh Press instead of the Armor Press. Alright. Actually, we should have went for Armor Press here because it would have done 100 minus 20, so that way Tapu Lele cannot take a knockout. Oh boy, so there's a Float Stone with the active. Looks like we'll see retreat into the other Golisopod, and this is going to be a problem. Now, we see a DC go to the active. Is he going to swing with the active one? I'm actually okay if he does this. Nope, I'm going to send that guy okay. Alright, so do we top deck a Grass Synergy? If we top deck a Grass Synergy, we can bring this Golisopod, take a knockout. We actually have Shaymin in our deck. Oh man, but if we put down Shaymin, that is a life center target for the last prize card. And there's a Grass Synergy, so that's what we need to see. But once we do this, our hand will be down to 0. Alright, so I'm going to Ultra Ball, discarding the Choice Band of Lele. And no, we can't win the game regardless. Our last, oh, I didn't even notice this, but our last Golisopod is prized. So we actually cannot even, oh boy, this is really bad now. Okay. Oh no. Alright, so we have to go for Shaymin here. This is actually a really terrible situation to be in right now. Okay, so we're going to grab Shaymin. Okay. We're going to Guzma. Bring up this guy. Put it in our Wimpod, and we have to Shaymin for 5 here. We have to find a DC. If we find a DC, we will be able to take a knockout. But let's see, what does Shaymin get us? And we don't find the DCE, so we actually can't even do anything right now. We have no more Shaymins. We didn't find a DCE. We're not going to be able to Mind Jack this guy for a knockout. And you got to think my opponent has a way to win the game. I mean, he only needs 1 prize card. So regardless, we would probably be in trouble because if he finds a DC, he would win regardless. But, I mean, no, we would have a Golisopod in the X spot. So, man, oh, man, I didn't even notice our last one was prized. So I'm going to Field Blower and get rid of the Float Stone. And I think that's all he really has. So he'll discard the Float Stone. I'm going to put a Grass Energy on the Zoroark. He hasn't used his GX tech either, so he can knock out anybody. Oh, no, this is terrible. Alright, so I'm going to Ultra Ball, discarding a Grass and a Zorua. Okay. We're going to grab a Tapu Lele. Alright, so put on the Tapu Lele. Yes, we'll search for the card. And with this, I'm going to grab an Acerola. Okay. This is very weird now, because we are in big trouble. Alright, so we'll retreat the Tapu Lele and just pass. It's the only thing that can take a hit without getting knocked out. Alright, so, oh boy, that is terrible. We had everything we needed, then, okay, there's a Guzma. He can bring anybody he wants out, and he will take this game. And there you go. In this game, you can see how important Acerola is. Like, he was able to use his Acerola, kind of abuse it, heal his Pokemon. His list is a little bit different, but there you go. There's 2 Golisopod mirror matches, which is very, very fun to see. His list involving Ringaroo, not involving Zoroark. It seems like it's more like just focused on Golisopod. So that's a very interesting take on his deck. And there we go. There's 2 matches with Golisopod and Zoroark. Oh man. So maybe the deck needs another Rescue Stretcher, maybe a Revitalizer. Maybe the 4th Golisopod. It's unfortunate we prized the 3rd one. If we didn't, we would have been able to take a knockout. But he had the Guzma regardless. So yeah, he could have knocked anybody he wanted to, so he would have won the game regardless. But there you go, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. I hope you have a fantastic Monday, and we'll see you tomorrow on Rogue Tuesday. Alrighty, bye. And I do apologize once again with no green screen. I know it's kind of weird, just me in a box, but we will fix this here in a couple of weeks. But I hope you have a great day. Alrighty, bye. Alright guys, I just want to give a quick shout out to our 3 sponsors, 60 Cards, Yeti Gaming, and the Pokemon Company International. Links to everything will be down below in the description. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Alrighty.